least we are talking about a minimum of 2 decades. ஏன்னா நம்மளுடைய ஆன்செஸ்டர்ஸ் பாத்தீங்கன்னா லைக் நம்ம கிராண்ட் பேரண்ட்ஸ், அம்மா அப்பா டைம்ல எல்லாம் இந்த ஒபிசிட்டி, டயபெட்டிஸ், ஹார்ட் ப்ராப்ளம், இந்த கொலஸ்ட்ரால் அதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப கேட்டிருக்க மாட்டோம். Slowly it has crept in into our system, in our community, in our lives. அது எப்படி வந்துச்சு? By the time we even realize, it has become a global menace. Now, why I call it a global menace is now obesity is just not ஒருத்தர் குண்டா இருக்காரு. It's not about just one person looking fat or being fat. It's the source of so many diseases put together. Now let's talk about the diseases of obesity a little later. But there is this concept called malnutrition. Malnutrition endradhu usually it's used generally when we think about malnutrition. Generally we think about something, a part of malnutrition called undernutrition. The other spectrum of malnutrition is only obesity. Basically, malnutrition is something where there is a energy imbalance, energy intake ko energy expenditure. Adhaadu நம்ம எடுக்கிற energy, which is food, and நம்ம expend பண்ற, use பண்ற energy ko if there is a mismatch, அதுல வர்றது தான் obesity. So obviously in obesity there is more energy intake and less energy expenditure, obviously. So this is a form of malnutrition which needs to be addressed at the biggest level. Now, how do we classify this obesity? How do we call somebody obese? And basically there is a very simple calculation with respect to body mass index in BMI. A lot of people might have heard this, but BMI is basically very simple. Take your body weight, equate it with your height. See, the math is not every person of the same weight is the same BMI. So, for 100 kilo person, there are two individuals who weigh 100 kilos. One person height 5 feet na, the other person's height is 6.5 feet. Both weigh 100 kilos. That doesn't mean that both are obese. Adala the 6.5 feet, 100 kgs comes under normal weight category. But for the 5 feet person, 100 kgs comes under the obese category. So this is how we plot BMI. And it's got numbers. So usually on the numbering pathomna, anything less than 25 is considered as normal weight category. 25 to 30 is overweight. More than 30 comes under obese. Adliye class 1, class 2. As the BMI increases, it comes to class 1, class 2, and all, and class 3 super obese. So BMI, yes, it is a quite a indicative of the obesity that is prevailing. Now, when we talk about obesity, there are few facts that are quite challenging. I mean, are quite interesting in the sense, alarming. In fact, see, like I told you, obesity in 2 decades has increased, and the fact being, obesity has tripled from 1985 to what we are now. The number of obese people in the world, I'm talking world census, the number of obese people has tripled. 3 மடங்கு ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கு. And இப்போதைக்கு இருக்கிற பாப்புலேஷன் நம்ம எடுத்து பார்த்தோம்னா, world population again, almost 39% of people, 39% population they are all overweight, and in that the 39%, 13% are in the obese category. See, overweight it's less than 30 BMI. Obese is more than 30 BMI, and 13% of world population is in the obese category. It's an alarming rate. And see, and why is this obesity being spoken about so much? Why are we trying to push in awareness with respect to obesity? See, there is a lot of reasons when you talk about death. There's a lot of reasons, causes of death, heart diseases, lung diseases, cancers, so many things. Unfortunately, all of these, or rather, I wouldn't say all, most of these are, you look at obesity as a cause, it will have a possible etiology to all these causes. So, in fact, the majority of population that dies is more out of obesity and its related disorders rather than underweight. See, we in the news in the Somalia, Syria, and all these very underdeveloped countries, they will show pictures of very malnourished children, adults who are dying, and all that. Yes, that is also a cause. But world population, obesity deaths are very high. And in all this might be scary, in all this might sound bizarre, but in all this, there's a beautiful fact that obesity is very, very, very preventable. Now, it is we would have heard it so many times, prevention is better than cure. Yes, there is cure for obesity also, but why cure something when you can prevent it? So the thing is, first of all, from where does this obesity come? How does this obesity come? See, many of my patients in GEM Hospital, they come to our department, and when we have a talk with them, the first question that they ask is, "Doctor, நான் ஒண்ணுமே சாப்பிடுறது இல்ல, நான் வந்து கண்ட்ரோல்டா தான் இருக்கேன், இருந்தாலும் நான் ஏன் வெயிட்டா இருக்கேன்?" And the subsequent following question is, என் ஃப்ரெண்டு வந்து நல்லா சாப்பிடுவான், நல்லா his eating capacity is very, very good, he eats double of what I eat, but he doesn't put on weight. அவங்க வந்து நல்லா ஒல்லி குச்சி மாதிரி இருக்காங்க, நான் மட்டும் ஏன் இப்படி இருக்கேன்? See, the question is a very, very genuine, very, very simple question. In a lifetime we would have seen so many living examples like this. But unfortunately, in all this medical advances that we have, in all this scientific world and everything, quite frankly, I am totally sitting here very, very humbled in front of you that we really do not have a single simple answer to give you. That is the fact. And why it is like that is because obesity per se is a very, very complex condition. And there has been a lot of research, lot of trials, experiments, data collection, a lot of things that is happening. And இப்போ அதாவது ஒரு கடுகு அளவு தெரியும். What we know is close to a mustard seed. That much we know. So there is something called a body's self-regulating system. In our body, everything is self-regulated. Let it be blood pressure or oxygenation. The very fact that like I'm talking to you, I'm breathing, and my heart is functioning. Everything is regulated. And if you just sit back and just think, in a day, how many times we breathe in a day, how many times the heart beats, எதுவுமே நம்ம கண்ட்ரோல்ல கிடையாது. None of it now, not 1% of it is under our control. I mean, under our conscious control, I mean. But same way is also obesity. So the body basically has something called a set point. And this set point is right here in our brains. See, it is very scientific here, but I'll try to be as simple as possible. See, the brain controls a lot of our functions, or rather most of our functions in vechikkalame. The way we react to food, the way we look at food, the way we perceive food, the way we perceive a lot of things has to do with the brain. Now, how the brain works is, there is a gut brain axis. அதாவது கட்னா நம்மளுடைய உணவு பாதை, உணவு குழா, வயிறு, சிறுகுடல், பெருக்குடல், all those things. the stomach, the intestines, and all those things. Now the gut has hormones. Those are called neuropeptides. It's a little technical, sorry about that. So these new peptides na hormones nu vechikalam. Neuro is something that acts on the brain. So these signals are released from the gut, which I mean the gastrointestinal tract, through the blood. It works in a lot of organs like kidney, the pancreas, liver, number fat cells, and also majority of it works in the brain. So in all this interaction, enna aguna the body ki or particular set point in vandrum. Okay, everybody in this world has a set point with respect to how much they weigh or something like that. Okay, we'll get to that. The metabolism part, I'll just come a little later. So this set point is usually the same same for that particular person. Of course the set point is different for different people. Now what happens if supposing if you are losing weight, the body tries to push it up to the set point. If we are gaining weight, the body tries to lower it to that set point. So if na solrapadi paatha, if there is a set point for everybody, then everybody should be in that set point. Ancestrally, if our ancestors weighed only were in the normal weight category, all of us should have been in the normal weight category. So what happened here? What is the missing link? The missing link, again I'm telling you, we cannot just point it at one cause. There is no one cause for obesity, or there is no one cause for this set point to change. So what tilted? What happened here? Over the years, we have a lot of things changed around us, mainly our environment. Right now, I can talk for the majority of people here tuning in and all that. Majority of us live in metropolitan cities, in cities at least. And cities are becoming westernized very fast. Very, very fast. And westernizing, now I'm talking about the way we look at things, the way we perceive things, the way we eat, the way we dress, the way we talk, the way we live itself is getting changed. Kandipa nama ancestors irundha mari nama illa, correct da. So the environment plays a big role in our daily life. In that comes the lifestyle and the social circle. Ipo lifestyle is basically what you do in a day. Ipo kaalil endirikiren, I get up, I get ready, I go to work, I come back, I spend time with the family, I read a book, I watch TV, I go to sleep. Just basic whatever lifestyle. Okay, and the social circle na நம்ம சுத்தி இருக்கிறவங்க, நம்ம work place, நம்ம பார்க்குற people, நம்ம friends, நம்ம family, all these things. And also what is very, very important is the quality of the food we eat. முன்னாடி வந்து பாலுன்னா நம்ம வீட்டு பின்னாடி மாடு இருக்கும், அதை கறந்து வீட்டுல பால் வைப்பாங்க. வீட்லயே தோட்டம் இருக்கும், தோட்டத்துல தக்காளி காய்கறி எல்லாமே வளரும், அங்க இருந்து பறிச்சு வீட்டுல வந்து சமைப்பாங்க. பட் நவ் our access to good quality products itself is compromised. The masalas that we use in the chili powder, coriander powder, whatever ellame is all store bought. Storeல அவங்க அந்த பாக்கெட்ல என்ன அந்த பாக்கெட் குள்ள சிவப்பு கலர்ல இருக்கிறது சில்லி பவுடர்னு நம்ம நம்பிக்கிட்டு அதை யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோம். பட் we really do not know what is inside that. All these things have changed from what was, and that is why we are having to see a change in the set point. Now set point yen maarudhu? The environment is influencing us, the lifestyle is influencing us, the social circle is influencing us. So what we perceive in the brain, the neurochemicals react differently, and hence the set point change. So இருக்கிறதுல சிம்பிளஸ்டா போடணும்னா this is all we can say. இதுல கடைசியில தான் அந்த ஜெனட்டிக்னு வரும். ஜெனட்டிக் காசஸ் probably in the mari, parents are obese, so the offsprings are obese. Now, all this in the set point, there are two main things that we have to understand. Is something called nammaloda brain gets accustomed to a particular way of living. So simple. For example, if we want to eat, how do we eat? Most of us, எல்லாரும் வீட்டில் டைனிங் டேபிள் உட்காரோம், சாப்பாடு வந்து தட்டில் இருக்கும், சாப்பிட்டு நம்ம போயிட்டே இருப்போம். We don't even think இந்த சாப்பாடு எங்கிருந்து வந்துச்சு, எப்படி வந்துச்சு, all those things. So there is a center in the brain which controls foraging ன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. In English it's called foraging. In தமிழ்ல அது எப்படி போடணும்னா, foraging is நம்ம போய் தேடி எடுக்கிறது, to seek. So here I'm talking about to seek food. So nammaloda brain vandu, it has to be tuned to a way where we seek food which is healthy, to seek food which is good for health, not to seek food which is unhealthy. So here again, so what causes the problem here is there is something called a reward pathway. So in the reward pathway na simple, இன்னைக்கு வந்து வேலையெல்லாம் முடிச்சிட்டேன்ப்பா, I am going to just have one plate biryani. That is a reward. So இன்னைக்கு இதை முடிச்சிட்டேன், I want to do this. It's a reward pathway. So this in the reward pathway is not bad. It's like everybody wants to do that. You have a tough day's work, you come back home, you just want to relax and have a good meal and sleep. Yes. But in the reward pathway, enna problem na, the craving and affinity for the currently available high calorie foods, high glycemic index food, processed food is the one that hits the brain more pleasingly than the healthy ones. So for example, இன்னைக்கு எல்லாம் நல்லா சூப்பரா வேலையை முடிச்சிட்டேன், நான் வந்து I want to eat பிரியாணின்னு சொல்லுவோமா, இல்ல I want to eat a bowl of salad ன்னு சொல்லுவோமா? Obviously the answer is obvious. So all these, I'm sorry about the complexity, but that's how it is. All these play a big role in what we are and how we metabolize. So the problem with obesity is, to put it in simple words, the metabolism is compromised. The person's metabolism is compromised. அதாவது அந்த எரிப்பு தன்மை, the body's capacity to burn fuel is lesser, and the reason for it to be less is all this thing that I've been speaking about now, the brain, the axis, the neuropeptides and all these things. Now, because of this, obesity sets in, and because of obesity there is a whole spectrum of diseases that are thrown open. To start with, diabetes, hypertension, dyslipidemia na the high cholesterol and solluvola, high cholesterol, obstructive sleep apnea irukku. Obstructive sleep apnea is when a person is having a lot of fat accumulation in the around the neck region. தூங்கும் போது என்ன ஆகும்னா, see, when we sleep, it's a state of relaxed state. So muscles around the neck will relax. So when there is a lot of fat, it tends to compress the airway. Obstructive sleep apnea, அதாவது நம்ம தூங்கும் போது மூச்சு எடுக்கிற எஃபெக்ட் இருக்கும், ஆனா ஆக்சுவலி adequate oxygenation நடக்காது. ஸோ அதனால வரக்கூடிய விளைவுகள் is devastating. So and obstructive sleep apnea, sudden cardiac arrest, possibility, a high risk of stroke, sudden death, all these things are there. And I'm talking about it as a spectrum. I'm not saying everybody who's obese is going to die or anything like that. I'm not making any brash statements like that. What we need in all this, what we need to consider is that obesity is a disease. It might be a very strong statement, but it is true. Obesity is to be considered as a disease, and it has to be treated on a war front to stop, to prevent, to cure. It has to be done. So I had to give this as a background for us to get into the myths. இது வந்து பேக்ரவுண்டே நம்ம ஃபவுண்டேஷனே தெரியாம ஏன் ஒருத்தங்க ஒபீஸா இருக்காங்கன்னு தெரியாம அதை பத்தி பேசி இட் டசன்ட் மேக் சென்ஸ். ஸோ இஸ் இட் ஒன் டிசீஸ்? நோ. ஒபிசிட்டி, like I told you, leads to a spectrum of diseases. It's got a lot of diseases. So for example, a patient comes to us 130 kilos, unable to really move around, having diabetes, having back pain, and unable to eat properly. இப்படின்னு வராங்கன்னா எதெல்லாம் அட்ரஸ் பண்ணுவோம்? பேக் பெயினுக்கு அட்ரஸ் பண்ணுவோமா? டயபெட்டிஸ்க்கு அட்ரஸ் பண்ணுவோமா? அவங்களோட ஸ்லீப் ஆப்னியாக்கு அட்ரஸ் பண்ணுவோமா? ஒரு பிசிஷியனால எல்லாத்தையும் எப்படி எஃபெக்டிவா மேனேஜ் பண்ண முடியும்? ஸோ a good physician looks at the root cause of a problem. இது வந்து சிம்பிள் எக்ஸாம்பிளா சொல்றேன். ஃபீவர் வருது, ஓகே, சிம்பிளா என்ன பண்ணுவோம்? ஒரு பாராசிட்டமால் போட்டுக்குவோம். பாராசிட்டமால் போடுறோம், ஃபீவர் கம்மியாகுது, திருப்பி ஃபீவர் வருது, பாராசிட்டமால் போடுறோம், கம்மியாகுது, திருப்பி ஃபீவர் வருது. இதே மாதிரி 2-3 days வந்துச்சுன்னா நம்ம பாராசிட்டமால் போட்டுக்கிட்டே இருக்கிறது வந்து இட் இஸ் நாட் அட்ரஸிங் த ப்ராப்ளம். ஸோ ஏன் ஃபீவர் வருதுன்னு பார்க்கணும். அதுக்கு இப்போ உடம்புல எங்கேயாவது ஒரு இன்ஃபெக்ஷன் இருக்கும், அந்த இன்ஃபெக்ஷனை ஆன்டிபயோட்டிக் வச்சு ட்ரீட் பண்ணா அந்த ஃபீவர் கம்மியாகும். அதே மாதிரி தான் இப்போ வந்து முதுகுவலி இருக்கு, பர்சன் ஒபீஸா இருக்காங்க, முட்டு வலி இருக்கு, ஒபீஸா இருக்காங்க, பெயின் கில்லர் கொடுத்துட்டு இருந்தா அந்த டைம் 5 நாளைக்கு அந்த பெயின் கில்லர் கொடுப்பாங்க, இப்போ வலி கம்மியாகும். பட் வாட் ஆஃப்டர் தட்? வாட் ஹேப்பன்ஸ் ஆஃப்டர் தட்? So in the this patient example, you look at the root cause. The root cause is being obesity. So you treat obesity, you treat everything. ஒரே கல்லுல 2 மாங்காய் இல்ல, ஒரே கல்லுல எல்லா மாங்காவும் அடிச்சிருக்கும். So the idea is obesity is not a single disease. Obesity always comes as a spectrum. So we have to address it as a whole, find the root cause. And here most times when you look at it, the root cause will be obesity. And நிறைய பேருக்கு இந்த ஒபீஸா இருக்கிறவங்க, அதாவது குண்டா இருக்கிறவங்கள பார்த்தா இந்த கிண்டலா இருக்கும், கிண்டல் அடிப்பாங்க, டே குண்டானுவாங்க. It's not just about the looks. Obesity is never about just looks. And it's very hurting to see, we see a lot of videos on Facebook and Insta where obese people are teased and bullied and ill-treated. It is not their fault that they are like that. They try their level best to do what they can to get back in shape. A lot of people come to us, psychologically affected because of being ill-treated na I'm talking within the family. There'll be patients வந்து சொல்லுவாங்க, சார் அவன் என்ன சார் சும்மா தின்னுட்டு தூங்கிட்டு இருக்கான், அவன் எக்ஸசைஸ் பண்ண மாட்டேங்கிறான், அவன் சும்மா ஜாலியா இருக்கான், அவன் கண்டுக்கவே மாட்டேங்கிறான். Yeah, we as doctors, we will, okay, if the lifestyle problem இருக்குன்னா we will address it. We will say இல்லங்க, இப்படி eat clean, eat healthy, do your exercises ன்னு சொல்லுவோம். But it does not mean that we can brand every person being obese and equate them to being a lazy person, equate them to being a glutton na sapatraman. It is not like that. It's unfortunate. It's so unfortunate that the entire society looks at obese people like that, and it is not their fault. I reiterate it again. It is not their fault that their metabolism is on the lower side. That's how it is. So it is very important to take them in confidence. ஏன்னா அவங்களோட கான்ஃபிடன்ஸே லோவா இருக்கும். It is very important to get them into your confidence. Counsel them. If you want to really help, take them to a place that specializes with weight loss, and get help. It's possible. I told you, if obesity is preventable, it is also curable. Now, in these cases, the immediate answer to obesity, Chari, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to go on a crash diet. நீங்க இன்டர்நெட்ல போட்டு பாத்தீங்கன்னா 100,000 டயட் இருக்கு. ஆட்கின்ஸ் டயட்னுவாங்க, கீட்டோ டயட்னுவாங்க, பாலியோ டயட்னுவாங்க, டயட். Every form of dieting will work. Okay, every form of dieting will work only until you follow that diet. And whether to follow, I get a lot of questions. Sir, paleo diet follow pannama, keto diet follow pannama, edu sir best? Whatever you follow, you will have to follow it for the rest of your life. So why do you want to kill yourself with all these kind of fab diets? No. Dieting means, please just note this one thing. Dieting means, it does not mean eating less. It does not mean not eating at all. Dieting means eating right. All you have to do is eat right. Now, this eating right, if done forever in your life, which means it has to become a part of you. If it becomes a part of you, it becomes a strong signal in your brain. So நீங்க வந்து, say for example, நீங்க வந்து இந்த பீட்சா பர்கர் எல்லாம் சாப்பிடவே மாட்டேன்னு, you have a healthy lifestyle. நாளைக்கு அந்த பீட்சா பர்கர் வந்து உங்களுக்கு என்னதான் கண்ணு முன்னாடி அப்படியே ருசிச்சு ரசிச்சு இருந்தாலுமே அதை சாப்பிடணும்னு தோணாது. That's how the brain works. You have to train yourself, which means you have to train your brain to change that axis on the reward pathway and the foraging and the pathway மாத்தணும். So that is what dieting is all about. So here in GEM Hospital, we don't give a certificate to any sort of diet that this is the best, that is the best. Every diet is basically a low carb kind of diet, giving more importance to proteins, giving more importance to fiber, giving more importance to fluid intake. All diet. So in the valila, whichever diet suits you, take it and stick with it. And along with this, in the diet lab, people have this false idea, notion that exercising can make me very bulky, very muscular. We exercise again to reverse metabolism. If your metabolism is low, your exercises, the neuropeptides that are released through that increase your metabolism. You practically burn calories, and your brain gets used to that system and it starts burning more, improving your metabolism. Now, that is why we exercise. We exercise for fitness. We exercise to improve metabolism. We exercise to improve our core muscles. It is not to bulk up or become bodybuilders or anything. Gym-க்கு போறீங்களா? First cardio. Concentrate on your cardio first. Stretches first. எடுத்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டே ஜிம்முக்கு போய் நான் வந்து வெயிட்ஸ் லிஃப்ட் பண்ண போறேன்னா that's foolishness. So that is why we advise our patients, நீங்க ஜிம் போறீங்களா, if our patients are put on the lifestyle modification, of course dietary counseling and dietary follow up லாம் we have a team to follow that up. But with respect to exercise, you need to have hire a personal trainer and do your exercises with his guidance. ஏன்னா obese இருக்கிறவங்க who have not been too much into all these activities, சடனா போய் தானா இந்த வீடியோஸ் எல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு தானா பண்ற exercises can lead to injuries. So please be very, very careful when you are going and hitting the gym first. Start simple. See, what you start today or tomorrow, whenever you are going to start, with respect to dietary changes and exercises, it has to come with you for your lifetime. And why I say this is, only then it becomes a part of you, and the moment it becomes a part of you, is weight. Now, it is And how, see, there are patients who have lost a lot of weight with this dietary modifications, but the percentage in pathomna, it is very, very less. For 100 பேர் எடுத்துக்கிட்டோம்னா, the percentage of people who from obese category coming into the normal weight category is very, very less. And why it is so is, to do these dietary changes, to do these exercises, which means lifestyle modification, it takes a lot of dedication. It takes a lot of dedication. You have to be mentally very, very strong, very, very sorted to go through this. It is very stressful to suddenly, we've been used to the things that we crave for. Today, if I'm craving for a cake, we go get a cake, because everything is so freely available. If you are living in a joint family, சித்தி சித்தப்பா எல்லாம் வருவாங்க, ஸ்வீட் வரும், காரம் வரும், போண்டா பஜ்ஜி எல்லாம் வரும். சாப்பிடாம இருக்கதான் வேணும். பட் அந்த மென்டல் ஸ்டெபிலிட்டி, அந்த ஸ்ட்ரென்த் இருக்கணும். And most of us, including myself, we do not have that. And that is why lifestyle changes fails in most cases. And where lifestyle changes fail, we try to add some sort of medications. Now, medications is not to be used for a long time. It can help. See, for lifestyle modifications, there is about documented about 10 to 15% weight loss of body weight loss with lifestyle modification. So if we are looking at, if somebody is 100 kgs, they will lose about 15 kgs, and other konja amplify pandradhukku we can give some medicines, I mean pharmacological agents. But again, maximum you're looking at a 15 to 20% weight loss. Now, what if a person who's really obese, I'm talking in the level of 150, 160, 170 kilos, BMI of excess of 45, 50. We have seen BMIs of in excess of 60. Avangalukku lifestyle modifications, yes, it will work. I'm not saying it will not work. But a person weighing 170 kilos, they lose 20 kgs. Yes, it is good weight loss. Agreed. But it does not delete the risks that they have because of obesity. 170 losing 20 kgs makes him 150. And even in 150, he is still obese. And with lifestyle modifications, the chances of that 150 coming to 100 is extremely rare. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's extremely rare. And on to add these, usually these patients are a little elderly, post 45, post 50. Avangalam eppadi, how can you ask 170, 150 kg 50-year-old to sweat it out in the gym, to run half an hour on the treadmill? Their knees will take a hit, their back will take a hit. They are very, very prone to sports injuries. So in this setting, bariatric surgery comes into play. So bariatric surgery is not a quick fix for weight loss. It is not. We take bariatric surgery very seriously because we have strict, stringent protocols before surgery, during surgery, and after surgery. After surgery, the patient is in follow-up with us for more than 18 months. We constantly keep calling them, we update them with all our support group programs. And why it is done is, it is not just to say, bariatric surgery paniyachu, you will lose weight, everything is fine, goodbye. No. First of all, we as doctors, we as bariatric surgeons, what we do is we talk to the patient. When we talk to the patient, we will know if they are in the mindset to lead a good, healthy lifestyle. Illa, if the patient is going to be, if we think the patient is going to be like, bariatric surgery பண்ணியாச்சே, எப்படியும் கம்மியா தான் சாப்பிடுவோம், so அதனால என்ன வேணாலும் சாப்பிடலாம், that is not, that is a complete fail, and that procedure will fail. So it is not a shortcut. It is not a quick fix. Bariatric surgery is done for patients who are motivated to lose weight, who are willing to follow up with the dietary and exercise protocols that we have, and it is life changing. For those people, it is life changing, because imagine the same 170 kilo patient coming to about 90 kilos, resolution of diabetes, a correction of dyslipidemia, and the fatty liver. Fatty liver can go in for liver cell failure in all these extra super obese patients. Fatty liver will resolve. Obstructive sleep apnea and the direct stress on the heart reduces. Their risks of cancer, their risks of stroke diminishes. It is a new life for them. So it is not a quick fix. It is life changing for the deserving candidate. Yeah. So I think ரொம்ப பேசிட்டேன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். So anyway, if you have any questions, let me see if there are any questions here. Now, there is a question on how to increase your basal metabolic rate. அதான் சொன்னேன், basal metabolic rate is what you currently have. So how you increase it? You increase it by eating right, and more so by exercising. You know, exercise is very, very important. Exercise is very, very important. It increases your basal metabolic rate. It does it transiently, and when this exercising is done over a long period of time, it becomes a part of you, and automatically your set point changes. Okay. There is also another question which we also see in our day-to-day practice. என்னன்னா, சார் எனக்கு தைராய்டு இருக்கு, அதனால நான் வந்து ஒபீஸா இருக்கேன், அதனால வெயிட் போட்டுட்டேன். கிளியரா புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க, தைராய்டு இருந்தா வெயிட் போடும், கரெக்ட். விச் மீன்ஸ் அன்ட்ரீட்டட் அன்டிடெக்டட் ஹைப்போதைராய்டிசம், அதாவது ட்ரீட் பண்ணாத கண்டுபிடிக்காத லோ தைராய்டு லெவல்ஸ் இருக்கும்போது வெயிட் கூடலாம். ஆனா அந்த லோ தைராய்டு லெவலுக்கு the simple fix is your body is producing low thyroid hormone, so you just take a thyroid pill to replace it. Very simple. So if your thyroid levels are normal, it does not mean that is the reason that you're putting on weight. Okay. And okay, is bariatric surgery the only solution for super obese? I think so, yes. I wouldn't say it's the only solution, but it is a very good solution. Why I say, see, bariatric surgery definitely is proven to be safe, sustained, and long-term in long-term weight loss. They're not looking at just about or 10 kilo kammi avudhu, I'm happy. But even if 10 kilos have to lose, if you have to lose, you will have to stay in that 10 kilos. But what did I say? The body always tends to push it up. So always there is a rebound. You lose 10, you'll put back 15. So bariatric surgery works in a way that it changes the metabolism. Bariatric surgery works in a way where the metabolism is increased. Erippu tanmai is increased. How it increases? Like I told you, in the gut. The surgery happens, bariatric surgery happens in the stomach, in the small intestines. So what happens? There are hormonal changes that happen. Hormonal na the gut hormones na sonnadhu. The hormones that we want to amplify, it gets amplified. The hormones that we think is not so good with respect to weight loss is deregulated. So we are able to enhance the metabolism. Also, to the patient, எப்படி இருக்கும்னா, the stomach is smaller, so I'm eating less, so I'm losing weight. No. Yes, that is the initial part. But how it works, how bariatric surgery works on a long term is based on this increase in metabolism following bariatric surgery. How diabetes gets resolved following bariatric surgery, again, it's the same metabolism that we enhance. If I get to that, it gets too technical, but yes, bariatric surgery is a very good option for the super obese. And okay, that is a question, very interesting. I have a flabby stomach, can I have bariatric surgery? First of all, is it just a flabby stomach? I don't know if it's I think, yeah, it's a female who has asked that question. See, flabby stomach can be for a lot of reasons. If flabby stomach is the only problem that you have, liposuction or cosmetic procedures like tummy tuck and all that will work. But if generally obesity surgery works on a little more of a general body weight loss. So just flabby stomach, bariatric surgery is not the right choice. And okay, that is a thing. That is how to break community myth that obesity is because of overeating. It's an overeating disease. Just like I told you, people need awareness. The awareness is that obesity is a disease just like diabetes. இப்போ diabetes எடுத்துக்கோங்க. Are you இப்போ diabetes வந்து it doesn't come because somebody is eating a lot of sugar. No, not at all. Diabetes என்ன, ஒருத்தங்களோட இப்போ 2 பேர் இருக்காங்க, ஒரு டயபெட்டிக் ஒரு நான் டயபெட்டிக். Give them both the same amount of glucose. ஒரு 100 grams glucose கொடுங்க. The non-diabetic will burn it off normally, but the diabetic will take time to burn it off. So his sugar level in his blood will be always higher. Yeah, why? Both are eating the same thing. அது எப்படி நான் டயபெட்டிக் அந்த டயபெட்டிக் பர்சனை வந்து நீ வந்து தப்பு, நீ வந்து சுகரை சரியா எரிக்க மாட்டேங்கிற அப்படின்னு அவர் திட்ட முடியுமா? It is all about education of the community. Please remember that being obese is not because one person eats a lot. It could be one of the reason, but that is not the only reason. That is not the only reason. It is that person's capacity to burn is less. So that is why they are obese. It's not because they overeat all the time. There are patients, we do see patients who have a history of binge eating and all that, but that can be corrected. But even if that is corrected, that does not guarantee you that they will lose weight. Why so? Again, we will have friends. I have friends. They eat very well, but their BMI is less than 25. I ask myself, I'm a bariatric surgeon. I ask myself, how is that possible? But now we know, or rather, now we know mustard level at least. முன்னாடி தெரியாது. ஏன்னா இப்படி தின்ற, என்ன ஃபிட்டா இருக்க, அவன் எக்ஸசைஸ் பண்ண மாட்டான், அவன் வந்து ஜாலியா இருப்பான், ஒன்றும் பண்ண மாட்டான், பட் வெயிட் மட்டும் போடாது. That is not, that doesn't mean that அவரு நல்லா சாப்பிடுறாங்க, வெயிட் கம்மியா இருக்கு, he's very fit person, and the obese person who's not eating so much, or it is branded as a lazy person and a person without discipline and all these things. The community needs to know that we need to support these people. If you want to help, don't mock them. அவங்கள கிண்டல் அடிக்காதீங்க, அவங்கள குத்தி காமிக்காதீங்க, அவங்கள புண்படுத்தாதீங்க. If you really want to help, take them to a professional. We are here to help. Okay? That's a good question, by the way. And what is the ideal weight for a lady who's 50 plus? That depends. It's a very broad question. 50 or 60 or 70 or everybody aims to be in that BMI of less than 25. Less than 25 is the ideal BMI. நம்ம கொஞ்சம் இந்த 50 plus 60 plusக்கு அட்லீஸ்ட் லெஸ் தேன் 30 ஓவர் வெயிட்ல இருந்தாலுமே இட்ஸ் ஓகே, பட் டெஃபினெட்லி சம்வேர் அரௌண்ட் த 25 BMI இருக்கிறது தான் இஸ் ஐடியல். There is a question on childhood obesity. Oh, very interesting. Okay. Okay, let me just talk about it briefly so that it will cover everything. How much time do we have? Okay, we have 10 minutes. Childhood obesity. First children. A child who's obese, say at 10 years of age, has an 80% chance of being in the adulthood. When I said obesity is preventable, it has to start from home. It has to start from school. Children have to be educated. Children have to be told. Children have to be guided with respect to what they eat, how they eat, what healthy lifestyles, and encouraged to do physical activity. Physical activity. Earlier, it was very safe to send the child. My father will not know where I am in the evening. But me now as a parent, I'm scared to send my child outside. That's how our society has become. It's become unsafe for children. Yes, but there are supervised ways that you can engage your children in physical activity. School is the best place. Engage them in sports. Engage them in teach them. Keep talking to them about how to eat healthy. அவங்க முன்னாடி அவங்களுக்கு இப்போ வந்து ஈவினிங் ஸ்கூல் போயிட்டு வரானா இந்த பயிர் வேக வச்சு கொடுங்க, சுண்டல் வேக வச்சு கொடுங்க, இந்த ராகில பால்ஸ் செஞ்சு கொடுங்க, ஸ்வீட் பொட்டேட்டோல பால்ஸ் செஞ்சு கொடுங்க. இந்த ஒரு சிம்பிளா என்ன ஈஸியா என்ன பண்ணிடுறோம், ஒரு சிப்ஸ் பாக்கெட் எடுத்து கையில கொடுத்துரும், இல்ல ஒரு பிஸ்கெட் பாக்கெட் எடுத்து கையில கொடுத்துரும். அதுல எவ்வளவு ப்ராசஸ்டு ஃபுட் இருக்கு, அதுல எவ்வளவு சால்ட் இருக்கு, எவ்வளவு சுகர் இருக்கு, எவ்வளவு அன்சாச்சுரேட்டட் சேச்சுரேட்டட் ஃபேட்ஸ் இருக்கு. ஸோ வாட் த கிட் ஈட்ஸ் நவ் is how the brain perceives, is how the brain is trained to eat later. So இன்னைக்கு அன்ஹெல்த்தியா சாப்பிட்டு அந்த பிரெயின் ட்ரெயின் ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா நாளைக்கு பெரியவனான பிறகும் அந்த மாதிரி ஃபுட் ஸ்டஃப், ப்ராசஸ்டு ஹை கேலரி ஃபுட்டுக்கு தான் அந்த ஃபொராஜிங் நான் சொன்னேன்ல அந்த 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 ஆக்சஸ் போக தோணும். ஸோ childhood obesity needs to be counseled, not treated. If a kid is obese, he does not need any treatment. He needs to be counseled. The parents need to be counseled as to how they can be, lead a healthy lifestyle. Not only for the child, for parent also, it's very important. So, childhood obesity, great question. It definitely shapes the India of tomorrow. And do we have a last question? Okay, there's one question. Okay, I'm a 60-year-old weighing 110 kgs and I have diabetes for the past 10 years. Okay. இது வந்து ஒரு ஃபேஸ்புக் லைவ்ல பண்ண முடியாது. ஐ மீன் இட்ஸ் நாட் த ரைட் திங் டு சே வெதர் bariatric surgery is advisable for you, not at all. We will have to evaluate you. என்ன evaluation பண்ணுவோம்னா, we will have to see the severity of diabetes. We will have to see what other effects of obesity has had on your body. So seeing all this, seeing all the reports, seeing all post evaluation, we will be able to give a clearer picture as to what to expect, what not to expect. See, it is it is wrong to claim that bariatric surgery, that there are, konjam paralegal saying that bariatric surgery cures diabetes for all. No, it reverses diabetes. Yes, that is true, but the amount of reversal changes from person to person. ஒருத்தர் ரிவர்ஸ் ஆகிற மாதிரி இன்னொருத்தர் ரிவர்ஸ் ஆக மாட்டாங்க. There is a lot of science and data behind that, and that we will be glad to explain when after we evaluate you, and we as surgeons have a clearer idea as to what to expect following surgery, and that we'll offer it to the patient, and then they decide on what next needs to be done. I think we'll just take one more question, which is, okay, there is one question, interesting again. Excess cholesterol, will it lead to obesity? It's the other way around. Actually, obese individuals have a tendency to have high cholesterol. Not only obese, also non-obese individuals also can have a high cholesterol. Dyslipidemia ன்னு சொல்லுவோம். அதோட காசஸ் வந்து ஜெனட்டிக்கா இருக்கும். அது வந்து இந்த ஃபெமிலியல் டிஸ்லிபிடிமியான்னு இருக்கு. ஸோ do not confuse cholesterol. Yes, it is fat, but here we are talking about visceral fat rather than the cholesterol per se. Bariatric surgery will reverse dyslipidemia, yes, because that has a direct that's a direct risk factor for diseases. But with respect to cholesterol, please don't confuse. Cholesterol is, நம்மளுக்கு cholesterol தேவை. அதுக்குன்னு cholesterol இல்லாம ஆயிலே இல்லாம சாப்பிடலாம் முடியாது. We need the cholesterol, but sometimes again it goes to the metabolism. The body's ability to metabolize that cholesterol might be less. So the blood cholesterol level, triglycerides level increase, hence causing problem. That has nothing to do with obesity. Obese can have high cholesterol, but that doesn't mean that if you're not obese, your cholesterol is less or something like that. That needs to be, if you're in that risk age group, you need to have it evaluated and checked. Is there an age group to lose weight? See, is there an age group to lose weight? No, anybody can lose weight. There is no real age group cutoff. There is by guidelines, there is a cutoff for bariatric surgery. That is a different issue. But when we are talking about losing weight, anybody can lose weight. Starting from, like I told you, we have to start from childhood to from pediatric to geriatric, people can lose weight. And surgical weight loss, yes, we have done so according to guidelines from 16 to about 65 we can do surgeries, but even post 65 special cases we have done with good results, safe results. So there is no real age limit to weight loss. And I think we have come to the end. Thank you very much, whoever has tuned in, taken time off, and it was a great opportunity to share this awareness and break some myths and throw some light on obesity. Thank you once again. I'm Dr. Jayanth, and I practice in GEM Hospitals. Thanks once again.